Good morning. Today we have another Autoacer video for y'all. I'm showing you how to install a lift kit on a Toyota Rav4. You guys remember the last Autoacer video we did? We installed a bunch of parts on my Tacoma out front. Bonus news for those that follow the channel, we actually got the transmission installed, the clutch works, the wiring, we're working out the kinks on that right now. So far, it's running and driving. Long time coming on that one. Like and subscribe if you want to see more on that. For now though, we're getting back to the Autoacer stuff. Goes without saying, you do this repair at your own risk. I'm not responsible for the, outcome, but here's a good way to show you an easy way to do the lift kit because you don't need that many fancy tools. You can see I definitely don't have a professional workshop here, and that goes to say that you don't need a professional workshop either. A little bit of grit, determination, and you can figure it out pretty simply. So, I'll give you a walk through the kit for starters. We got, this looks like a strut top spacer, and there's new studs that come with the kit. Big plus, and it'll sit just right up on top of the strut there. For the back, it looks like it's got coilovers or something, so these will just go above the spring. We need to start working, so the first thing we're gonna do is jack up the front end of this vehicle and then start working on the struts. $19mm. Let's take a look at how this vehicle's put together. So I've never actually worked on a Rav4 before. The shock boot's a little torn up on this, but the shock seems fine. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to extend that with something. These are probably 14mm bolts. I think they're... We'll fire these guys out and then I'll touch back with you. Looking like that. To get the brake lines off, it's just a 14mm bolt in here and it holds both of them in at once actually, which is kind of sweet. So your ABS and your brake line. And now we'll work on this. The only tip I can give you is to be patient with these. Half the time they strip out and they have to be cut off. So clean out the Allen keyhole as best as you can and then just kind of gradually and slowly loosen it out. These next couple bolts are probably going to be alignment bolts. I'm not 100% sure. So I've marked them just so that I know I can keep them in the same position when I put it all back together. They're actually not alignment bolts, so I don't know how to adjust the camber. Maybe it's not adjustable, I don't know. That would be weird. Anyway, it'll just shake loose. There we go. You've all seen this before. We got ratchet straps and we just thread them through themselves and compress the spring that way. We need access to this in order to get these studs out and put the new ones in. Anyway, so we're gonna take the strut top hat off and then put it back together with this puck installed. Whoa, we got some fancy architecture in here. I wish it wasn't like this. Well, all right, so the bearings are just in a little ring. It just lifts right out. Now I can just go over and hammer this out as usual. Nice and easy. Then we gotta take our new pins and basically just put them in the same hole as the old ones were. Just like that. Nice and flush. You can give it a couple taps on the other side too. They don't need much. They already fit and they're not like a super crazy tight fit. They're all held together by compression when it's in the vehicle anyway. So now that we got those in, we can put our bearing ring back. Might not be a bad idea to throw a little bit of fresh grease in here just because it's open. There is a little spacer under the nut. Remember to retain that. Pop your cap back on, and that's basically it. That's the only reason you need to compress the springs, is just so you can get this on and off easily. And then we can just slide this right on. I'm gonna put the spacer on top just for shits and giggles. And then you can bolt that back into the car. It's a simple puck lift kit. It's the same way they lift lots of vehicles that have struts and stuff. Maintains the spring rate, just makes the strut taller. So this is what it looks like when you got it set in the car. I like to do these ones, just get them threaded in a couple rungs so it holds the strut for you. And then put this guy in. Ideally we would have replaced this, but we didn't have this part, so it is what it is. I'm gonna try and wrap something up here and secure it with zip ties just to keep water off of it. make this shock last longer. But anyway, we just gotta tighten up these 22s, put the brake stuff back together, put the tire on, and reconnect the end link, and then we'll be good to go. Start on the back. One last thing to mention here, when you're doing this, anything that connects to the shock is gonna be affected. We didn't have much of an issue attaching the lower part of the suspension because it droops, but doing stuff like this sway bar end link, it is off by exactly the height of the lift kit. So a lot of people do this if they're going to be off-roading their vehicle, so they just get rid of these altogether. But if you do plan to use it on the street, you should get shorter end links, or just cut yours and weld it back together to make it the proper length, because right now these won't fit and there's really no way to do it. In the future, Autoacer could supply correct length end links with these kits, just to make it a complete unit, I guess. Back is much the same as the front. You start by taking the wheel off. What you need to do now is compress this spring more than it already is compressed. This is a fairly tough part of it. I'm going to use probably 4 ratchet straps to accomplish that. And then you just slip your puck in at the top and you're good to go. It's pretty simple, but we'll show you how it's done. You got to start by getting rid of the bolt in here so you can drop this away. Apologies folks for the different video. We're now using my phone because my camera's battery died. But I feel like for these types of videos, you're not so concerned with image quality. It's more of an instructional thing. So anyway, once you get it dropped down like this, you just have to pop this bolt out that runs through the bottom of the knuckle assembly, kind of in here. Then you can readjust your ratchet straps, square it up, make it nice. It just helps to get the majority of the compression done while it's compressed within the vehicle's suspension. You can even, if you're really keen on doing this, before you jack anything up, if you can wrap this up and tie it down when the vehicle's weight's on it, you'll have to do even less compression and it works even easier. But anyway, all these kits is a little puck, basically, suspension thing, and it sits in there. It grips around this, so that's what keeps it sturdy. This only acts in compression, so there's no need to really use aluminum. A lot of kits use polyurethane because it's lighter, there's no corrosion issues, it's also cheaper. And plus it helps to seat things nice because there's a touch of give, which means the spring, any little imperfections, things that aren't perfectly level or square, whatever, they'll kind of smooth it out and settle in nice. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it back up in here. So once you get it all aligned, it helps to put a floor jack underneath to kind of push everything up into place. Then you just got to get this thing lined up, throw that bolt in, put your end link back on, and then we can put it down and I can show you what this side of the vehicle looks like once it's had the kit installed versus the other side when it hasn't had the kit installed. We'll take some measurements underneath low-hanging areas to give you an idea of clearance and how it changes, and then some farther back shots so you can see what it does to the appearance of the vehicle. So we got the kit installed in the back. You can maybe kind of sort of see it from underneath. I don't know, that's not the point. Anyway, you can see how much further these wheels are drooping than they are on this side, which is not lifted. So you can see the kit is about 1.5 inches. We're gonna take it off the jacks now, and then we'll rest it and show you both sides so you can get an idea about what it looks like, and then we'll... this is what the vehicle looks like now. So if I go right in front and sit in the middle, you can tell it's angled. Right, it's about it's 1.5 inches, I'd say, higher on the passenger side. You got way more room in the wheel arches. Like I can fit my fingers extended up in here in the front and in the back. Same thing. If we compare it to the other side, you'll see in the back, right, I can get like 3 fingers extended, not even. And then it's kind of the same story up here in the front. So you do get an appreciable increase in clearance. It doesn't really affect articulation, like I said before. Just because it's a puck, it's not a longer spring. But if we put you down on the ground, you can even see there's just more clearance on the left side of the vehicle than there is on the right. because it drops these control arms down, and that effectively lifts the rest of the vehicle up this, you know, the space of the puck. So, you know, this side has got about 6 inches of room. This side's got closer to 7 or 8 because of the spacer we put in. And it tracks all the way through to the back as well. But it's not super noticeable overall. Like, if you were to just walk past it in a parking lot and it was lifted on all corners, you probably wouldn't know. It's not that obvious. Unless you're a car nerd. This took about 2.5 hours, I think. I started about 11, now it's almost 2. So, not too bad. The hardest part, honestly, is compressing the springs. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching, folks. If you want to see more like it, subscribe to the channel and follow along. Bunch of automotive stuff coming down the pipe, because we got a whole bunch of broken old farm vehicles we're fixing. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe. Okay. So, we got a Dodge Colt. Or more accurately, a Mitsubishi Colt. It's been off the road for almost 30 years. It's a little worse for wear. Tires have seen better days. That window's been broken out, obviously. It's a neat looking little car.